Happy New Year, everybody. This is Graham with my staff update for the beginning of January, and I'm excited to bring this to you this morning. It has been quite the kickoff to the new year. For many of us who have kids, the online learning started today as I'm recording. That was fun to get the kids set up on that, and there's just a lot of anticipation of what the year ahead looks like. And so I just wanted to do my update in two different ways. One, to look back a little bit, and the second, just to look forward with some things ahead of us. I just wanted to give an update on our Christmas initiatives, and if you saw the email that went out earlier, thanking everyone, it went off with great success, and so much of that is to do with you. But let me just give you a little bit more of an update on that, if I can. There was 6 initiatives. Actually, we did 7. I'll tell you about the 7th in a second. But we were just very thankful for all of the support and hands that made all of that work, and it went off really well. So the Christmas Market which is a joint effort between Gateway Church and West Park Church and us, alongside the Resource Center. In the past, what we've done is we've done a big meal for families in the community, and we've had an opportunity to share the gospel in that venue, and we've also helped them with gifts. And the idea behind that is they've been able to purchase the gifts on a discount, which gives them a little bit of ownership in the game, and also gives them a lot more dignity in the process. And then it allows us to build the relationship with supporting them with the things that they want to do for their children at Christmas, which a lot of us parents want to be able to provide for our kids. And so this gives them that chance. And then we were able to partner with No Frills up on Fanshawe, and they gave us a great amount of support with food hampers. So giving each one of the 40 families a turkey meal hamper, which went off really well. There'll be a picture linked up with this that you can see some of the amounts of food that we were talking about, but it went off really well. All the families were very thankful. It looked very different. So as before, we had a bunch of people in having a meal together, socializing, getting to know each other, building relationships. That didn't happen, but stuff still happened, so it was good. Thank you very much for all that support. For the men's mission, they received all of our gifts. They were super thankful. Mike and his team received that with joy in their hearts, and we were also able to provide a financial contribution to that organization, which helped them with the men who are facing homelessness and mental health issues on so many levels at this season. To help them out with that was great. We did my sister's place, and they received our gifts and financial contribution as well. There's a picture of a life group packing up all the stuff that you're going to see here, socially distanced. But that went off really well. My sister's place was very thankful. The pregnancy center, they received our experience boxes, and those were boxes set up that gave women opportunities to do something with their kids. And you guys did a phenomenal job with those. They were overwhelmed with that gift, and they actually left a voicemail, which we'll put in this report somewhere, that you can get to. Maybe at the bottom of the page, you'll see the notes there with that. It's a great little voicemail from them thanking us as a church. So thank you, church, for that. One of our main partners, as we already said in the market, was the Resource Center. The Resource Center, which is in the Sherwood Plaza, is run by a director named Amani. She has been a friend and an ally to us as a church for so many things that we do, and so many of the families that we are in contact with and serving in the community. Amani is part of that relationship with those families as well. So the Resource Center runs an emergency food cupboard, which is different than the food bank. So we host a food bank once a month at the Resource Center, especially during COVID. Which is the depot of the main food bank of London, which is down on Leithorn. They give us a truck, we drive the truck up, and we hand out food to the families. This is different. Their emergency food cupboard, which is what we've been providing food for, is set up for families who, on a weekly basis, can come and access that to help their family through that week. The main food bank only runs once a month. This food cupboard is operating on a daily basis and is accessed by dozens and dozens of families in our immediate community. So we're very thankful to help them with stocking them up with lots of food and canned goods, which was great. The Resource Center also received a financial gift from the 3 different churches through our market initiative. And that gift was given to them, and it's going to help them provide fresh produce, vegetables, milk, some of those essentials, but also it helps them with some things like diapers and formula for babies. And so we're very thankful that the three churches were able to give to that initiative as well. And then lastly, I told you I would add the seventh one. We just felt that the Lord was blessing us in so many ways as a church. We wanted to keep extending that. And so we identified, through the help of Lyle, 10 seniors in our community, in our church, that we just wanted to love. They are such a valuable part of our church community. And because of COVID, they have not been able to come to church for a number of months. And we just wanted as a church family to love them up. So we were able to build up some gift baskets for them and deliver them. And a lot of those seniors were really, really impressed and felt loved. So church family, there was great joy in the hearts of many people because of the work that you do for the gospel in our community. I want to thank you for that. And I'm excited to see what the Lord has in store for us as we go forward. So thank you. So that's the first part, and you would have seen pictures, hopefully, that would have allowed you to get an idea of what that looked like. It did look very different. So this is where I want to kind of switch and go into the next phase of my report, which is looking ahead. There's a few things that I do. My role is Director of Community Life, and that works on things out in the community, but it also helps us develop discipleship and growth here in our church. That's done through life groups and a number of other initiatives. But one of the things we're going to roll out is some things that give you the opportunity to jump on board and to maybe learn and to grow in a new way of what it looks like for you to share the gospel in practical ways. And so let me to give you three things. They've been somewhat communicated, but now we're going to communicate them a little bit more. The first one is our community impact team. This is something I've been sitting on for a number of years. Just what does it look like for us to be a little bit more intentional in mobilizing and training up some people to do good works in our community, our local community, where there's a great mission field in front of us. And so this team is going to do some training and do some prayer about what it looks like for us and for them specifically to mobilize themselves and maybe gather other people to go into the community of London and to, yes, share the gospel, but also to be impacting the lives of people with the gospel. And so we're excited to have that team rolling out. And so there'll be a link under this, which will give you an opportunity to sign up for that first meeting. Now, we were going to meet on the 10th of January. We're in great lockdown, so we've moved that meeting to the 7th of February. And if you would like to sign up for that team, you can do so in that link. And we'd love to have you hear more about what's happening around London. We'll bring in some special guests if we're allowed. But we'll talk to some special guests who are doing things on the ground, and we will learn from them. And we will try and mobilize this team over the next few months to have a greater impact as we go forward as a church. And so I'm excited about this team. And this team is, if this is something that's on your heart and you would like to get your hands dirty and to be more engaged in sharing the gospel in practical ways in the community, this would be a team for you to sign up with. So please do so in the link below. The second thing is we were also going to start Christianity Explored later this month. However, because of the gray zone, we don't think it's a great tool to use virtually. We think it's better face to face. And so we're going to hope to open that up the next month in February, pending the protocols that are given to us through the government. But what Christianity Explored is a lot of people have asked about Alpha. We've run Christianity Explored instead of Alpha. And Christianity Explored is a basic step of learning and engaging with what Christianity is founded on. It teaches people who Jesus was. It teaches people about the cross. It teaches people about the death of Christ and his resurrection. It talks about the grace and the love that God has given to us through Jesus Christ. And it gives them the opportunity to examine their life and to wonder if this is the life that they were meant to live, or if God has something more for them. Christianity Explored has been run a number of times here at the church. We do it pretty much every year. Last year, we actually were not able to because of COVID, but we wanted to push it this year. And so if you have people in your life, if you have people that you've been engaging with, especially during COVID, about what it looks like for them to follow Jesus and to explore that more in their life, Christianity Explored might be a great thing for you to bring them to. We're only going to be running for 4 weeks. So it's a 4-week course instead of something which is 12 weeks, which can be hard and daunting for people to fit into their schedule. And in these 4 weeks, they'll be covering 2 topics in each week. And it should be a great time of exploring Christianity with someone who is new to faith or is exploring faith. So if you have someone, please check that out. This could be a big step of invite. You could see this as an opportunity to be bold with your faith and bold with your witness. But we're offering that, and that link will be below this video as well. So there's two options, and the third one is just, it's more of an encouragement to you as a church. If you've been hearing from me, and men's ministry heard this a little bit from me a while back, seems like a long time ago, man. I still care about you and love you. I haven't forgotten about you. But one of the things we talked about habits, and the idea of habits were how we love God and love others more with the things we do and that we think about. They either lead us toward loving God and others better, or they pull us away from that. It could be things like our technology and how we are making time as a serious investment towards the gospel. It could be the things that we read. It could be the things that we are consumed with. It was just a great encouragement to me. So really the essence of it is we're looking at Matthew 22:35-40, and which is this. As one of them, a lawyer asked him a question, test him. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? He said to them, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depends all the law of the prophets. This is a passage which seems pretty simple in a lot of ways, but as your life expands and as your experiences are challenged, and COVID being one of those, it really allows you to see your life through a whole different filter through this passage. Have I seen times in my life in these last number of months where I have loved other things more than loved God? Yes. And have I seen opportunities to love my neighbor and ignored those? Yes. And it's because I've allowed myself to be consumed by other things instead of the things of God. And so my encouragement to you as we go into this next wave of whatever COVID looks like is to not be disheartened, to not be low, to not be sad, but to be fervent in our prayer and to be our focus of what it is for us in this time, in this uncertainty, to share the gospel with conviction, with courage, with boldness, and in love with those people we are doing life with. Even if we're separated from them physically, we aren't necessarily separated from them on other ways. And so I encourage you to think of what it looks like for you to take this time to lean into God and loving him more, and allowing him to teach you, like he's teaching me, of what it looks like to love our neighbor, praying for our neighbor, praying for our politicians, praying for the people in our community, because it is through that step that we can be more faithful as a church and as an individual of what it is to love God and love others. Now, let me ask you a few questions in regards to this. And this just helped me as I process through this over the last number of months. Maybe some questions here that maybe you will resonate with, maybe not. Have you sought the wisdom of media over the wisdom of God? Have you neglected to pray for world leaders or government officials because you think they're wrong? Have you complained about what is happening instead of being thankful for what has happened through Christ for this opportunity? Have you neglected to share the gospel in the midst of other struggles? Have you encouraged those around you, especially your neighbors? Have you encouraged them to see hope, to see love, to see Christ in the midst of the world that's consumed with frustration and darkness and hate? Have you been too busy to read your Bible and to pray? I mean, we've had a reset of the things that we've been busy with have been taken away from us on a number of levels. Yet have we filled those time spaces with things of God, or we fill them up with things of our flesh? And we've been consumed more and more by them instead of consumed by the word of God. Is your fuse shorter because you are living more out of flesh than you are out of spirit? Are you realizing that you are quick to react? You're reacting out of anger. You're frustrated all the time. Instead, have you been praying for the Spirit to give you a different posture with that? That he's giving you patience, that he's giving you the ability to be an encouraging word, to be wise in all of the things you say and all the things you do? Have you been gripping onto something more than you should? Jude, in his sermon the other day was talking about the clinging on to Christ this year. Have you been clinging on to something that is not Christ, yet is consuming you more than Christ? My brothers and sisters, it is easy for us as fleshly beings to be consumed by those things, but we haven't been called to that. And I encourage you to examine your heart, examine your actions, examine all of those things, and to pray that God will give you the strength and the courage and to release you from those burdens and draw you into what it is to follow him with your whole heart. This is a challenging time, and we keep hearing of the challenge, but this is also an exciting time for us. This is an exciting time for us because we have a great hope that we have a privilege to share with other people who are without. Let us love others. Let us speak of the things of God more than the things of this world. Let us show that we have witness and we have strength that is not found here on earth, but it is found and given to us through our Holy Spirit. I loved what my friend Ray Majoran wrote the other day about how we are substituting, like Esau did, for a bowl of stew. We are substituting the things of God for things of this world. If you haven't read his post from the other week, I encourage you to read that. Let us not be that church. Let us not be those people. Well, that is my update and my staff desire for you as we go into this new year. I hope and I pray that we as a church will be able to show and demonstrate the witness of our great God in our community, in our families, in our neighborhoods, and that we would be bold with the gospel and that he would be glorified with everything we say and everything we do. Thank you, church. Have a great day.